Oh, this question is definitely hyperbolic, but Timmy asks, is DeMar top 5 in the league? I'm just going to adjust this. Would DeMar crack the top 7 to 10 on your MVP ballot right now?
Probably not, but he'd be right there. I think when we did the actual award ballots in an earlier episode that I had him listed as one of my honorable mentions, but like not one of the leading ones. I think that there's just enough high-end candidates that without the Bulls like going on 10-game win streaks while he thrives as a solo star, which is part of the issue, is that as good as he's been, Zach LaVine has been great as well at times. I just don't see the narrative element being there to take down, like, again, as you said, like 7 to 8 leading contenders, because there are that many superstars playing well.
There is, I don't know where he will belong on the MVP ballot. I do think his acquisition was highly underrated. And I've mentioned this, people conflated too much what the opportunity cost to get him was with how much he brought to the Bulls. And I still think this is a conversation that's going to be worth having at least through the end of the season when you see what this team actually does. Did they give up too much to get him? What impact did the Vooch trade have on what that meant of how much they had to give up to get DeMar DeRozan, to get off Al-Farouq Aminu's deal as part of that trade? So that's a separate debate. But he's been so critical as having like that other steadying ball handler, has made life easier on Zach LaVine. Not all the on-off court splits love him. I'm not even looking at this. This was a few days ago.
Shocker there, right?
He had the highest defensive net rating swing in the league in a positive direction. This will be just the third time of his career, by the way, if it holds, that his team has performed better defensively with him on the court, which is just talk about Alex Caruso, Lonzo Ball, Javonte Green, like really playing well and helping prop him up. Also, I like that they started Alex Caruso at power forward the other day. That's a digression there. I think as someone who has struggled to shoot threes or wouldn't shoot threes, his value has always been oversimplified. I do think he's a player that demands a specific kind of fit, but sometimes I think we overrate an efficient, whatever he's scoring at this point. I haven't even paid attention to his points per game this season. When you look at him, though, he has never, since 2015, 2016, dating all the way back, he has never rated lower than the 75th percentile as a scorer out of the pick and roll. And like having that option on this team is just huge because it was never going to be Lonzo Ball, and it was really only Zach LaVine. And then like you had Kobe White, who's been injured, but like that's not. I just don't know that his game is to oversee the floor. DeMar DeRozan is an actual floor general, and looking at 26.1 points per game this season. Like sometimes I just feel like we overrate, and the number just might be inflated. But like even looking at last year, his true shooting, like do we just overrate scoring 20?
Sorry, could you say that again?
No, Siri, I can't say that again. My watch is going off. Last year, like, are we just going to overrate DeMar DeRozan scoring 20? Look at just the past few years as I'm stammering through this. Is just 20 plus points per game and just consistently the past 2 seasons at least being around 60 true shooting. Sometimes we just overrate that. His ability to get to the foul line, the work he actually does inside the arc. But I think his playmaking more than anything and the threat he poses as that pick and roll creator.
On the Basketball Reference MVP award tracker, which is based on historical correlations between different stats and team winning percentage and all that and previous voting results, he does come in at number 7 right now, which I think is pretty reasonable. Because your 7 to 8 cutoff, I think, is the appropriate one. For the record, the players above him: Chris Paul at number 6, Montrezl Harrell at number 5, which I think speaks to the perils of doing that with this kind of sample size. Jimmy Butler at number 4, Kevin Durant at number 3, Steph Curry at number 2, Nikola Jokic at number 1. Elsewhere in the top 10, we have James Harden at 8, Rudy Gobert at 9, and Giannis Antetokounmpo at number 10. I would bump both of those above him, bump Montrezl Harrell down. So I think like right around 8 is pretty appropriate.
Yeah, I think I'd probably say that he could even go. I'd probably put him in my top 7 even. There's like probably one of those names he would bounce. Not Jimmy, not Jokic, not Steph, probably not Durant.
It feels
either.
like it's Jokic in a solo tier, Steph and KD as the 1Bs right now, and then there's a pretty big drop-off. Maybe you want to throw Jimmy Butler in a tier of his own, and then there's a bunch of candidates kind of clustered together.
I might put Steph on the same level as Jokic, I'm not going to lie.
That's fair. I have Jokic number 1 at this point, but
hate the Morris brothers that much?
Absolutely. It's really hard to decry what Steph is doing, though, because it's been ridiculous.